Ka! Go! Ka! Ka!
Whoa! Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Our Father,
A fine day for some fine wares, ribbons of all colours.
You pooch. Do your shopping here, and you're in the clear.
Vegetables.
Christ, I need some sleep.
Come and get some fresh mushrooms.
Buy 2 pots, I've got lots. Have a bowl as well. Sound as a bell.
Oh!
Thanks
Colourful
to the herbal brews.
Great!
My shoulder's feeling a lot better.
Herbal brew.
Iron wares,
I
knives,
know.
rivets,
Herbal
axes,
brew.
strong. Come and take your pick.
Good day to you. What would you like? What do you have for sale? I'd like to do something about that price. Huh. Very well.
We've got it all.
You see? I knew we'd make a deal. Thank you. And a good day to you, friend.
I could lay down for a bit.
Guten Tag, mein Freund. Komm herein. Was willst du?
Show me your wares. Let's talk about the price.
Gut, versuchen wir's. Ja, das ist gut. Finally a good price. Thank you and take care.
Sail! Big, strong pots! Pots here! Twice fired!
Nine, rivet, and the tavern too!
We've got enough to go around.
Ornate pouches!
Apples! Juicy apples! Yellow and red! Buy some apples! Quality goods, the finest wares. Come and take a gander.
I believe it's called bored.
I'm not bored.
If you've got time to worry about everything that could go wrong, you're bored.
What now?
Thanks, and have a nice day, friend. What do you want?
Can I eat and sleep here?
If you have the coin, it can be arranged. And for how long?
I'll be staying longer.
Aye, that can be arranged if you have the coin.
Agreed. I'll pay. Here's your groschen.
Agreed then. The room's yours. Your bed's ready, and there's some food in the pot.
Coming right up. It happens. Which way you're going next?
I could use some sleep.
Hey! Where's that beer?
How's your husband? Is he better?
He's over the worst, thank God.
Good. Here. He looked like he had one thing engraved on him.
Don't be shy. Quality goods here. What's that? Is that you? Ah, never mind then.
Good afternoon.
I'd like to go into the gardens. Why are you on guard here?
I'm afraid my sister is resting in the gardens and doesn't wish to be disturbed.
Do you have any idea who I am?
No. Should I?
The city council wants me to inspect this part of the fortifications. So get out of my way so I can take a look.
You get out of here. I doubt the city council would entrust anything to a fool like you. God be with you. And maybe wash up a bit, will you?
Leave me alone, Goodman.
Go away, lad. You've no business being here.
I'd like to go into the gardens. Why are you on guard here?
I'm afraid my sister is resting in the gardens and doesn't wish to be disturbed.
Do these gardens belong to you, so you can decide who goes in?
Like I said, my sister doesn't want to be disturbed, and my father, Master Mannlicher, doesn't want it either.
I'd like to talk to your sister.
I bet you do. If half the men in the city didn't want to talk to my sister, I wouldn't have to stand here. If you want my advice, you'll clear off before it's too late.
And if I don't go?
I'll have to take you down a peg or two.
You know what? I challenge you to a duel. If I defeat you, you'll let me talk to Adletta.
I accept. This courtyard is a fine place for a duel, as it happens. Toter Mann!
Are you mad? You'll kill him!
Scheiße! Nichts wie weg!
Are you Miss Adletta?
If you're another servant of some townsman who wants to confess his love for me, then kindly get away. You can tell him his courtship is over because I'm engaged.
You're mistaken. My name is Henry, and I was sent by Caspar Rudolph. It's about that book he lent you.
Caspar? Oh, the poor thing got a proper hiding from my father. How is he?
He's well. His wine business is flourishing.
I know perfectly well that it's not flourishing. But I'm glad Caspar at least has good friends.
What about that book? Do you have it?
When we were friends, he gifted me that book. There was no mention of it being on loan. And now he wants it back all of a sudden?
Caspar really needs that book. I mean, I need it.
And I need an explanation. Gifts aren't meant to be taken back.
It's about the ancient secret of the monks at Sedlet's monastery. Caspar Havel... No, sorry, Rudolph Havel... I mean, Caspar Rudolph wants me to pretend to be Havel.
You what?
No, not to be Havel, but to pretend to understand him so he can find out what his cousin knows about it.
Forget it. I have no idea what you're talking about.
No offense, miss, but are you even interested in a treatise on wine?
Of course not. But Caspar kept going on about it, and I wanted to make him happy. Since I've been locked up here, I've even tried to read it out of sheer boredom, so that I don't have to embroider all the time.
If you like reading, I can recommend some books you might enjoy more.
Oh, do tell. I like to broaden my horizons, although I doubt the books will be easy to find.
What about some chivalric epics? The Charlemagne cycle is full of adventure, love, and betrayal. You might like the Song of Roland, for instance.
Isn't it all in French?
Of course. Literature should be read in the original language.
You don't look like you speak French. And I don't either. If it was in German or Latin, that would be different.
I could buy it from you.
Henry, I have everything I could possibly want. And I don't need your coin. My father buys me everything I ask for.
Not everything can be bought.
You're right. But I'm rather picky. I don't have to have everything I set my eyes on.
If you don't give it to me, I'll have to leave.
Don't think I care about the book. But I have to amuse myself somehow. Maybe we'll speak again someday.
Slowly. Nice and slow. Slowly. Nice and slow.
Gather round. You won't believe this. A whole village.
What's the...
I apologize. Greetings. Do you need something?
Have you got anything good to drink here?
Of course I do, handsome. Would you like some? And then maybe we can have a bit of fun. How about it?
Yeah, I'll have a drink.
Here you go. Cheers.
Oof. That's some strong stuff. Whoa. What is it?
It'll make you feel real good. But now I'm interested in something else, handsome. How'd you like to have a little fun?
Why not? While I'm here? Only my throat is still burning like hell.
What's the hold-up, innkeeper?
What do you need?
I'd like to use your services.
And what are you interested in,
What's
sir?
the hold-up? Am I supposed to open my mouth and wait for it to rain?
I'd like you to give me a good scrub and take care of my clothes, please.
All right, but money up front.
A jug of wine.
I'll gladly pay
thanks.
you.
All right, then. Let's get to it. Follow me.
All done. God bless you, sir.
I'm sorry.
At your service, sir.
Good evening. Do you need something?
I'd like to learn something.
What are you interested in?
I apologize.
I better not forget about that council assembly. I'm going to see the Mint Master. May I enter?
Any fool could say that. What do you want from him?
I have an appointment with him.
All right. Go ahead then. But don't waste too much of his time.
Glad to see you again.
You have the gall to show me your face again? I'll call the guards.
Hold your horses. I'll come in peace. Actually, I have a little offer for you.
You've come to blackmail me again?
Call it what you like. I need to get into the City Council Assembly, and I reckon you can help me.
The Assembly? The one King Sigismund is supposed to attend in person?
Surely you wouldn't deny me a chance to meet the king?
Don't try that on me. This is connected with Ruthard, isn't it? And tell the truth.
That's none of your concern.
Oh, really? Then about face and go back where you came from.
Have you forgotten I have you over a barrel? If you want to keep your position and your head on your shoulders, you better shape up.
All right, all right. Maybe we can make a deal. If I get you into the council, you'll behave appropriately and you won't betray yourself, or especially me. And that will be the end of our business together.
And how about a few groschen to seal our fruitful relationship?
Are you trying to annoy me? You might have dug up some dirt on me, but I have connections. One word, and you won't live to see the dawn. I'll get you into the assembly. But that finishes things between us. Understand?
Oh. All right.
You can get into the council assembly relatively easily. My cook's son will be serving there. He's roughly around your age. Maybe he can be persuaded to let you stand in for him. Although, not everyone would want to give up an opportunity to serve the King of Hungary.
Who's this boy?
Franta's his name. Franta Cooldown. He's an idler and a boozer, but he's proved his worth as a waiter. Which reminds me, you'll need his letter of permission to serve in the council. Otherwise, you won't be let inside.
What will I need to work as a waiter there?
Fast feet and good manners. And the livery of a royal waiter.
Excuse me?
Or do you think you can serve the king in a torn shirt and muddy hose?
Well, no. But I never heard about any livery before.
Our usual waiter had a brand new livery made specially for meeting the king. Don't even show up there without it.
Where can I find the cook's boy?
He's supposed to pick up his new clothes at the market today from Master Tailor Schneider. You'll almost certainly run into him there. That is, if he's up and about after his boozing bout. I swear that fellow practically lives at that Tin Hen.
At the what?
That German alehouse, the Iron Eagle. That is Zum Eisernen Adler.
What would work on him? How can I persuade him to give me his job?
Would you like me to give you a letter for him? I told you how to get to the assembly. Now do your part.
I'll be going then. See you at the council.
Just make sure we both come out of it alive.
Damn it! That door's supposed to be closed. Oh, you pooch.
Say no to that.
Empty
You just
pockets
have to
and a
take
whole
one.
lot of talk.
Good evening, my friend. What do you need? Farewell.
Greetings. What do you want?
What do you have for sale?
A word about the price.
Aye, I'm listening.
It's like I'm invisible or something.
Do you accept?
That's still too much. Finally, a reasonable sum. I'm glad you found what you needed, sir.
I need a place to sleep and something to eat.
It would be an honor, good sir. And for how long?
I just want to spend the night.
All right, but money up front.
Agreed. I'll pay. Here's your groschen.
Agreed then. The room's yours. Anyone can sleep like a king here. And if you're hungry, there's some food in the pot.
Where can I find my room?
On the second floor, right across from the stairs. There's a green wreath on the wall there. God bless you, sir.
Pavel, the owner of the local inn, I assume?
That I am. How can I help you?
When I asked where I should go in this city for good wine, your inn was recommended.
You've come to the right place. You won't find better wine in this city. Have you come from far away?
Very far, Goodman. I'm Henry, and I rarely hear my name spoken in my native tongue.
Mine has an unusual ingredient in it. Let's see if you can tell what it is.
I did a lot of traveling in Italy, from north to south.
Wonderful! It's not often I get the chance to talk to someone so well-traveled. It'd be nice to have someone to discuss the drink of kings with.
An invitation I can't refuse. Thank you.
Well, good man. How shall we begin our tasting? Ah, I know. How about a little white to begin with?
Excellent.
So, what do you say to that?
It's excellent. But otherwise, I don't really know what to say.
Ha! I like that. A wine connoisseur, and he doesn't know. It's essentially a lighter wine. I like it because it's suitable for many occasions. When I don't know what to serve, I pull out a Moravian white. My father-in-law loves it. He'll be a blessed 70 years old this year, so I'm giving him a few casks to make his old age a little merrier.
That's very kind of you.
There's nothing but misers in this town. They wouldn't think twice about taking their own mother's last piece of bread. I'm not like that. Do I have money? Of course. But I don't hoard it. I try to make people around me happy.
And you're treating me to this wine. You're a real Samaritan. And like it says in the Bible, you give drink to the thirsty.
Anyway, let's have a cup of something else.
My thoughts exactly.
What shall we... Ah, I know. Let's have some red. How about a young Blaufränkisch from Austria? Or as we call it in Bohemia, Blue Frankovka.
From you, Goodman, anything. Pour away.
Quite a decent vintage.
Oof. Rather bitter.
Bitter, yes. But it is a young wine.
All right, but the colour. It's not blue at all. More of a purple. That doesn't seem right.
It's not supposed to be blue. The name is a reference to it not being as red as other wines. It's more a play on words.
Ah, forgive me. I've never heard of such a wine.
Don't worry. Nobody knows everything. Except for my wife. Tell me, good man, what's regarded in your country as the most prized Italian wine?
Sangiovese. Jupiter's blood.
But that's the type of grape. I mean the type of wine. I surely don't have to tell you the grape variety is only half the taste.
Well, it's hard to come up with something off the top of my head, but I do enjoy this variety.
Ah, well, never mind. Let's carry on.
What shall we have next?
Oof. I'm afraid I'm done. It's not quite sitting right with me.
Such an excellent wine.
Unfortunately. But feel free to stay in my tavern and have a few drinks.
Allow me to ask you one more question. I heard you get your supplies from the monastery vineyard.
And what of it? You're not a tax collector, are you?
Yes. That's exactly what I am.
So let's be clear, you sneak. My business with the monastery vineyard is all above board. Everything is set down in my ledger upstairs, and until I see your credentials, it's none of your business.
If your business is above board, you have nothing to worry about.
Ha! That's what you lot always say. And then you squeeze me dry. Our conversation is over.
Don't you want to drink some more? It'll be on me.
No, thank you. You can stay in my inn if you like, but we have nothing more to say to each other.
Very well. Some other time, then.
Oh, I don't think so. Farewell, sir.
Maybe I should go and take a look around his office. His ledger is bound to be interesting.
Here we are. Good.
Are you going to do what we talked Not
about?
safe here.
No, sorry.
I apologize.
Good day to you. What brings you here? Until we meet again.
I ought to go and see Rosa. She'll be expecting me. And I mustn't forget about the city council.
Excuse me.
Calm down a bit.
All right, the celebration is over and done with. Everything's going well. I'm in fine
feather. Do your shopping here and you're in the clear.
Hear tidings of what is happening in our city, just as two royal...
Good day.
Greetings to you. How can I help?
Would you repair a few things for me?
Excellent. You made a How can I help you, stranger?
Show me your wares.
Thank you, sir. Come again.
What would you like? I need something repaired. Show me your wares.
Decoy, my wares will bring you joy.
Quality goods here.
I nearly left my fingers on them for buttons.
Knives! Knives!
amount they cost, but they're first class.
Greetings. I'd like to...
Surely you can wait a while. I have a customer here. Here you are. The finest fabric. Intricate work. You won't find the likes anywhere else in this town.
No more than I'd expect after the amount they cost. Thanks. I'll gladly recommend you if anyone asks. And you impatient fella, what was it you wanted?
You must be Franta Cooldown.
I am. And who might you be?
I'm Henry. I heard you're supposed to serve at the City Council Assembly.
I am. What's it to you?
Supposing I took the job on for you. You can put your feet up, fill your belly, and I'll do all the work for you.
Look here. It's not like I'm all that keen on it, but it's well paid. Apart from that, it's a bit of a pain in the arse. Them councillors stuffing their faces and guzzling wine, while I run around like a bugger with pitchers so they don't run dry. Why would you want to stick your nose in there?
I just have to get in there, understand? I have an important message for the king about a plot against him.
But why would you want to get to him as a waiter?
But it could be that someone from the council is mixed up in it, so I have to be incognito. See?
I see. All right then. To begin with, you'll need confirmation that you've worked as a waiter at the council and you're capable of serving even His Majesty. Look here. Do you have any idea what's expected of you? Can you tell different wines apart and that?
Of course. Who do you take me for?
All right. No need to get upset. Show the confirmation to the head butler. Tell him I sent you and think up some good excuse. Clear?
That makes sense.
And you'll need a waiter's livery. I had a brand new one made. Here it is. I look like a prick in it. Hopefully it'll sit better on you. The main thing is, don't lose it before the assembly or get it covered in shit.
Thanks. I won't disgrace you, I promise.
You'd better not.
Got it all. Bottles, pictures, fine wares. Come and take your pick.
Do your shopping here and you're in the clear.
Pears! Delicious pears! You ought to be ashamed,
you scoundrel!
Good doggy. Good boy.
Franta Cooldown sent me. I'm to stand in for him at the council assembly.
Franta's not coming? What's wrong with him?
He got poisoned. Probably from food. He's writhing in agony. By turns praying and cursing, spewing from both ends.
Oh, that's enough. All right. At least you're here.
We can't be without a waiter here, when the king himself will need waiting on.
So, let's have a look at you. Have you got Franta's certificate?
Sure. Here it is.
Everything's in order. Now, about your livery. You've got a waiter's cap, a tunic you have. Hose are good. It's a good thing you've got no steel on you. You need to be light on your feet to run around tables. Everything as it should be. Glad to see it, lad. Do you know what your duties are? For an inexperienced greenhorn like you, it'll be a great responsibility.
Well, I'll happily listen to any advice. I wouldn't want to foul things up.
I should certainly hope not. Now listen. A good waiter should stand in a corner, look willing and ready, and not get in anyone's way. In short, behave as if you're not there. But when one of the gentlemen calls for wine, you run and pour it for him on the double. You'll find the pitchers on a table by the door to the chapel. You take one and go to their table and pour for them. White Tokaib or red monastery wine.
White or red by the door to the chapel. Got it.
But for Councillor Adam of Zarzhitz, you must not pour at all. When he drinks, he disrupts and makes trouble. So the assembly has to be interrupted, or otherwise it never reaches an end. We can't allow that to happen in the presence of the king.
All right. Sir Adam of Zarzhitz stays dry.
And if the king himself wants wine, you pour for him with lowered eyes. Don't look at him. And the most important thing?
To stay in the background and keep quiet until someone asks me something?
Correct. The councillors have a lot to discuss, and they certainly don't need any interruptions. And in general, a good waiter has to be invisible, blind, and deaf.
Oh? I thought I had to keep my ears pricked.
Well, yes, but only to what anyone wants from you. No excuses, and provide everything that anyone wants from you. Understood?
Absolutely. I'm a waiter, after all. Not some street gossip monger.
Correct. And if you manage not to botch it up, you can even rise on the social ladder. Not just anyone can serve the King of Hungary, but you'll manage it, right?
I know everything I need to. I can do it.
Excellent. Put away your things here. It's easier to serve with a lighter load. You can wait in the cubbyhole for the servants.
There are the pictures of wine.
Our current
Hopefully I
Waffen
won't
is a
splash
joke.
anyone's shoes.
And on top of that, the army was requisitioning from it.
I'd like some white.
Should the town reserve have worse weapons than any Räuber in the domain?
What are you getting at, Eldris?
I'm saying that the bandits who freed Hinnik, the Dry Devil, used that thing. That Hackenbücher.
Are you deaf or something?
Hand
Why?
cannon.
White.
Can you believe it? Where did they get them?
You're the one who should know where they got them, since you're a gunsmith.
What are you implying, Friedrich? All I'm saying is that they had them,
Are you
Herrgott.
deaf or something?
It is
Why?
eine Schande when
White.
outlaws have better weapons than the city garrison. And Herr König surely knows this too.
What is it, Eldris? You smell a deal?
What I smell is that your stubborn heads do not realize what Schwierigkeiten this is. The Dry Devil is running free. There are Raubritter everywhere in the region. We have the army bearing down, and you want to defend
pour
yourselves
me some monastery
with
wine.
a few rusty halberds.
And who is it you
I'd
want
like
to fight?
oblige,
Exactly.
but I'm not
The
allowed.
merciful
This
King
is
Sigismund
unbelievable.
providing us with protection, isn't he?
It's not that long ago that some bandits burned down Bohemia. Nobody dealt with them.
Hey,
or
waiter,
as far
pour
as
me
I
some
know,
monastery
even
wine.
started investigating. Der König has
I
his
apologise,
own
sir.
concerns at home.
Which
And
wine?
one day he will
and
withdraw
quickly.
his army.
I'm sorry. Quiet! The king may turn up at any moment. What if he heard you?
What then? We're sitting atop the biggest silver heap in the kingdom,
Sir?
and we're supposed to defend it with brooms?
You're right,
Well,
Eldris.
thank
But where can we get the coin for better equipment?
We can always confiscate the property of the king's enemies, nicht wahr?
We are more than familiar with the jämmerlich state of our armory, and the king is surely aware of it as well. Maybe if he waived some of the taxes?
The king fears that this town will rise against him. He'll take the arming of the city's militia as a preparation for war.
So you suggest we just wait with arms crossed for the Raubritter to wreak havoc all around?
We can always ask the king to bring order to the realm with his army.
But then the Dörfler will rise up.
I'm afraid I see no solution of the current situation. We shall wait and see what His Majesty thinks about the matter. Maybe we can change his mind. Vielleicht?
I'd like to report to the Honorable Council on the cleanliness of the city and the state of the public baths.
You mean baths or brothels?
Waiter, get me
Isn't
white.
it the same thing?
So the
I'd like to
cleanliness of the
oblige,
city
but
is
I'm
not
not allowed.
what
This
it
is
should be.
unbelievable.
The current baths in the city fall far short of covering all the citizens' needs.
More wine,
You're right,
Master
Jerome.
Bailiff.
But a woman named Betty has showed up on Hopbrink and wants to repair the baths that used to be there.
She's
I need something from you. There is an item in my study that I confiscated from a female thief. She thought she could wriggle out of it by telling me who the item belongs to.
And what is it?
A silver goblet. She sneaked into Sir Ulrich's house and stole it. No one's noticed the theft yet. But if Ulrich finds out, he'll turn the city upside down to find the culprit. Go and get it. And don't you make a mess there, understand?
I can't. I'm supposed to serve the lords.
You're supposed to do what you're told. But suit yourself. I'll go and get it myself after the assembly.
The baths is neither a civic duty
I'm
nor
sorry.
a right.
Have you forgotten the Black Death? A great many people died needlessly.
Are you questioning God's
Waiter,
plan?
pour me red wine.
The Black Death had nothing to do with the baths, unless the Lord wishes to punish the wickedness that's going on in there.
Keeping the city clean is important.
Sir?
But we don't have money to spare. Arguing about who is going to wash where and how is a waste of time.
I got word that Rutard has pulled off another deed.
That's nothing unusual. That old weasel will never accept that the city isn't run his way, at least until His Majesty honors us with his visit. And as we know, Gunslin absolutely hates him.
He can hate all he wants, as long as he does no damage. Ulrich, what have you got to say about it?
Waiter,
Me?
pour me red wine.
I'm not sure what you're implying.
I'm speaking about the Rutard incident. You were there, weren't you?
Oh, that. Just a small misunderstanding. We've sorted it out and everything's settled.
My ears must be deceiving
Well,
me.
thank
Are
the
you
Lord.
defending Rutard? Besides, if his men attacked yours, as I've heard, then we have a good reason to punish him.
What happened there? Leave nothing out.
I don't like Rutard, true, but in this case
Waiter,
it really
pour me
was
red
nothing.
wine.
Everyone in the city gossiped about it. I heard there were several dead.
Did you? That's grossly exaggerated. I don't think Rutard will cause any trouble. He is sensible enough not to draw attention to himself while the king is here.
That's true. Because if we don't do something about him, the king himself will put an end to him, and soon.
Unless he puts an end to us first.
I fancy some Tokai.
Knows what he
Refill,
wants to
boy.
tell us.
If nothing happened, there's no point in dwelling on it. Let's move on.
I'm sorry, Andreas, but I wouldn't brush it
Sir?
off so quickly. Why do I have the feeling you're not telling us the whole truth?
Well,
Ulrich?
thank the Lord.
Are you accusing me of lying?
Those are strong words, my friend. Nobody said anything like that, did they?
Then why doesn't he tell us what really happened,
I'm not keeping anything from you, but there's little truth to the rumors circulating around the town. Yes, Rutard and I had a little disagreement, but we ended it quickly because his daughter wanted to get involved. I didn't want to expose the girl to any unpleasant sights.
So Rutard is hiding behind his own daughter's skirts?
As if it wasn't enough that he sent his son to die defending the city.
All right. If we really don't have anything new to say, let's turn the page.
Things have got out of order in the town. Some adventurers decided to take the law into their own hands and restore the tradition of duels. It's not only barbaric, but also illegal. If we tolerate this, the rabble in the city will go wild and do whatever they want. I suspect the gentleman from the city's sword-fighting school brought this custom to us. That
I'd like some
German
monastery
Menhard
wine.
is just hanging
Refill my
around the
cup,
market
boy.
looking for trouble.
Don't be ridiculous, Forsucker. You act like you've never been in a
Sir?
fight yourself. And to accuse a swordsmaster
Don't
without
hang
a shred
around
of
me.
proof.
Vanish, you hear me?
We're not some old fishwives in the marketplace.
So you will just leave it be?
Proven offences are punished by the bailiff. And that's that. There are more
Refill,
pressing
sir.
matters
Do you
to
think
deal
I
with.
come to the council
More
just to
pressing
guzzle
than the
wine?
open
Come here.
contempt of the whole town garrison. The guards are apparently...
What can I help you with, sir?
I left my gloves in the chapel. I took them off to pray, but then I rushed here and forgot to take them. I can't just get up and walk out now. But if you disappear for a little while...
My words exactly. The
I
town council
really
is
shouldn't, sir.
squabbling
A fine servant you are.
and no one is left unscathed.
And you...
I apologize.
Let people throw dirt on our work?
If I threw out everyone who complains over a beer,
I fancy
I'd soon
some
be out of
Tokai.
customers.
Refill, boy.
To hell with it.
That's
We'll
not
never
a
get
good
anywhere
idea,
like
sir.
this.
This is
Why waste our
unbelievable.
time?
Since there is the eternal dispute over the cathedrals, the building of the church is dragging on, and in the meantime, they are calling diocesan pilgrimages to settlers, right under our noses. It's just a village with a monastery, and they are going to make a royal mining city. Why can't we build faster? Hire more craftsmen, start with night shifts.
Haven't you noticed there's a war going on? Are the experts from far off supposed to work in a city
You
under
there,
siege?
lad.
Besides,
A cup of red.
I get the
Don't
feeling
you
there's something
skimp on
other
me.
than the welfare of the city behind your complaints.
Oh, you do? Do you? And what would that be?
Sir?
Like, for instance, that you'd like to have your own
You,
altar
lad.
there?
So what if
You
I
look
would?
familiar to
Hold
me.
your horses, gentlemen.
Have we met?
That space in the side nave is mine.
When hell freezes over, my friend,
really couldn't say.
your place is at least 2 steps behind mine.
I have a
A
feeling
swordsmith
I've
dares
spoken
to
with you
insult
before,
me?
too.
Ha!
Or with someone
think
who looks
not.
a hell of a lot
Excuse
like
me?
you.
You wanted to buy yourself an altar in the cathedral, just like you bought yourself a seat in this council.
How dare you? I acquired my seat for the services our guild provided and still provides to the crown.
Well, I hope you're not supplying equipment to the army. If that's all they have, they would be defeated by that bunch of ne'er-do-wells from the alehouse on Opring.
I'd like some white.
Ne'er-do-wells.
Those wrestlers of theirs, of course. People from the whole town go to watch them brawl.
Oh, this is news to me.
Because it has
Sir?
all been sorted out. Not long ago, the
Good.
guards raided
Now
and
run
threw
along.
them all out.
Ah, yes, I had forgotten. What do we have to discuss next?
I'm telling you, something is being planned. Oh, I doubt it. No one's gonna tackle Rootard.
Azonal Gyurcsák össze! A legjobb katonáikat, és kelkének útra!
You have nothing to fear. Not you.
Like this plan of fights!
Come now, Father. Put a little life into your dying. I've seen more cheerful priests at funerals.
I'd rather be at one than here. I hoped I'd never see this fortress again in my life.
Unpleasant memories?
You have no idea. I didn't part ways with my father on entirely good terms. 20 years ago.
And now you're 2 decades older and wiser. At your Ujit's parish, you spread the word of God to your flock, and you saved my neck and Henry's too. I'd say your father should be proud of you.
None of that matters a damn to him.
Who knows? Maybe that 20 years has changed a thing or two.
You know what? Let's drop the subject. Do you know any of the guests here?
Most of them I'm seeing for the first time in my life. It's a pretty varied company. We've had bandits, nobles, burghers, a priest, and even a rabbi coming together here. It's like the start of some joke.
Wait a moment. Rabbi, you say? The Kuttenberg rabbi?
Yeah. He came with a retinue. But for now, they keep him mostly to themselves. Maybe you should go and welcome some of them. After all, this used to be your home. And you're a spiritual man too, so you should have something in common.
I wouldn't be too sure. But I suppose I can try. Who's that French fellow you brought here from Malishov?
The great Baron Brabant. Been everywhere, knows everything, and has the keys to half the kingdom. He's got more fairy tales than my old nanny.
Can he be trusted?
He's a blabbermouth, but a harmless one. Besides, he defended Kuttenberg, and you know how that went. If he were on Sigismund's side, he'd hardly have been locked up with me.
How does it feel to breathe free air again?
What can I say? You can never truly appreciate freedom until someone locks you up for a while.
Or until you become a priest.
No fear of that in my case. I intend to enjoy life to the full. Wine, women, and song.
What do you plan to do now you're a free man again?
What do you think? Get drunk, woo one of the local wenches, and wake up in the morning with no hose and a head like a church bell.
Have you perchance forgotten we're supposed to be deciding the future of the kingdom here?
I'll leave that to the older and wiser. And duller.
Dear me. I'd rather creep off into some corner with a full wineskin. But I suppose I'll have to introduce myself to the rest of the guests, eh?
Indeed you should. After all, you are one of the lords of Rabosh.
Oh, don't start with that. I'd like to steer clear of the old man as long as I can.
In that case, you should sound out Radzig and Hanush and find out what they're actually planning.
Such rare guests. One wouldn't expect to find among Christians representatives of your community. I'm Godwin. My greetings to you.
Peace be with you. Neither would one expect a priest here. And yet...
How do you know I'm a priest?
It's not difficult to tell. After all, we have much in common. And we are both a little on unfamiliar ground here. I'm Yehuda, leader of the rabbinical court in the sacred community of Kuttenberg. And this is Samuel, my aide.
Who would rather not be here at all. Why did we have to come here, Sadie? Can you not see everyone is staring at us?
Because we all need to help each other in this time of need. And why would they not stare when you are frowning so?
Are you here to arrange some trade?
We have more serious matters to attend to here than gaining a few groschen. The situation in the town and the kingdom is unsustainable. The whole land is on the brink of destruction. You have men and weapons. We have the means to sustain them.
Why are you telling this to a Koimer? You wanted to deliver what we brought to the Margrave and quickly leave.
Everything in good time, Samuel. We have just arrived, after all.
Did you come to lend money to the lords?
Not to lend, but to give. Help given to the needy is repaid only by God.
You don't even know if you can trust them. With that money, we could have paid mercenaries ourselves.
You remind me of my young friend Henry. He's a bit of a hothead too.
Henry? That messenger of Radzik Copula?
You know each other. You're both around the same age.
That would be him. We did not get off to a very good start.
Well, maybe you'll get to know each other better. He should be coming here later, by the way. For a young stripling, he's been through plenty. It's not so long since his parents were killed in Skalitz. He was supposed to become a blacksmith, and instead, he's roaming the world, risking his neck at every turn.
Wait, a blacksmith, you say? From Skalitz?
Aye, that's right. Did you know anyone there?
I knew of someone. A blacksmith by the name of Martin.
My daughter knew him most, and that is why Samuel is in this world. For our numerous sins.
Maybe he was my father, but he certainly didn't act like one. Ma raised me on her own.
And that was all for the best.
Why? He should have taken care of me, but instead he fathered another bastard.
Don't make hasty judgments. As far as I know, Martin didn't have any other children. At least, none of his own. He took in Henry, and raised him as his own, on the orders of the Lord of Skalitz, Sir Radzik Copula, Henry's real father.
I don't care if he took care of 20 other mamsas.
That boy's blood father denied him, just like yours did to you.
A person can't choose their parents. And Henry only found out about it recently.
Enough. I'd rather have a drink. Will you have one too, Zayde?
For that, there will be more suitable times.
Good health.
L'chaim.
Warring and diplomacy make poor Bedford.
Warring is no solution. Even that gloomy captain knows that. What's his name?
Zizka. It's easy for him to rouse people to war when he has nothing to lose.
I'm glad you finally accepted the invitation.
Good health to you, sir. I'm Godwin. A friend of that lad you arrived with, Henry. We don't know each other.
Baron Vauquelin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo. The last of my line. I am a warrior, a traveler, a strategist, and also, à ma manière, a poet.
My word. Isn't that exhausting?
Mais non! And I'm glad to meet a new friend.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Baron. I knew right away we'd hit it off. How did you end up imprisoned in Malashov?
Ah, c'est une histoire compliquée. It was after I heroically led the defense of Gothenburg, and only lost it narrowly by an unfortunate turn of events.
That needs some explanation. What unfortunate turn of events?
Oh, misère. It is clear you have never been to war.
I'll be right with you.
So, be so kind as to enlighten me.
When they broke through the defense, I ended up in captivity. It was only due to my acquaintances in a court that I escaped execution.
Oh. I thought it was Henry who saved your neck.
My neck was not at risk in Malashov. I may have still been a prisoner with my personal freedom restricted, but they never broke my spirit.
Dear friends and allies, in these troublesome times, you all know why we're here. The question remains, what to do next? Sigismund is facing troubles in Hungary, and here too, he is up against resistance. He's a capable strategist, but a poor diplomat. Mark my words. If we wait him out until winter, he will leave of his own accord.
By winter, he'll have torched all our fortresses and carried off everything that we possess.
Are we seriously gonna wait and cower in a corner? Or are we gonna drive them out in shame? A few well-planned raids and we could have him in our fists!
At what price? Have you got men to spare? Has any of you got men and money to spare?
We don't have men out there.
Yes, we do.
We do not.
Jobst is right. That whole sun won't fall easily.
Only we can't wait.
Are we to get ourselves killed?
Or end with nothing?
Friends, we'll get nowhere like this. Let's adjourn ourselves and try to think it through.
Well, that went just as expected. Good health.
And to yours. Could it have gone any other way when there's so many of us here?
I would have expected a bit more sense from Jobst, of all people. He made an amateur's mistake. But it's hard to be angry with him when he's trying to ingratiate himself with everyone. By the way, I'm John of Liechtenstein. And you must be Godwin, the son of...
That's not a thing I've ever boasted of. How do you know that?
I have my sources. From what I've heard about you, I'd judge you could be quite useful to me at today's gathering.
Is that so?
Indeed. And that's why I'd like to ask something of you.
It depends what it's all about.
A little delicate diplomacy. I expect we can agree that Jobst's plan has certain shortcomings?
That's a weak word.
And the way it stands at the moment, he'll never get the support of the council. But I have an idea how to change that.
Well, I'm curious how you hope to shut Zizka up and satisfy the ones who want peace.
We'll sit and wait quietly until Sigismund withdraws of his own volition, as Jobst proposes, but we'll be waiting in the military camp of our huge new army.
If Sigismund decides to mount an attack on the camp, it'd be a massacre.
Ah, but it won't. Sigismund's army is demoralized and weakened. And besides, he's running out of resources. He's able to tackle fortresses that aren't able to defend themselves, but he won't engage an equal force on the battlefield.
But he can't retreat either. That would be a disgrace.
And that's exactly why we'll wait until he's called back to Hungary by events there. For the plan to work, we need allies, their money and their determination. We've already set the ground for it. We just need negotiators who will push the right people in the right direction.
Are you saying you set everything in motion even before Jobst?
More like in parallel, but without his knowledge. If we find support and make it look like the whole thing was his idea, we'll all win.
Why are you doing all this anyway?
Because I want to put a stop to the senseless deaths. And also because I'm happier with Wenceslas on the Bohemian throne.
You've got an interesting way of approaching things.
You're certainly not the first to tell me that. I take it as a compliment.
I'll help you. What exactly should I do?
I'll give you 3 names. Botchek of Kunstadt, Hamann Alder, and Anna of Waldstein. If you can get those three on our side, we've won the day. Meanwhile, I'll take care of Jobst.
Why me, of all people?
Because you've got a head on your shoulders. You know how to talk, and you're not just out for your own good. You and your friend Henry are similar in that respect. That's why I know I can count on you both. There aren't many like you two left.
What if it doesn't work?
I refuse to even consider that outcome. Because it would mean slow, but certain defeat for all of us.
Tell me a bit more about those people, so I know who I'm dealing with.
Certainly. Who do you want to start with?
Botchek of Kunstadt. I know the name, but I can't quite place him.
That's just the thing. He's got massive estates, great influence, but he holds back. He doesn't play the big game, because he doesn't like to take risks. He always goes for the sure thing. But once he's made his mind up, not even a pair of oxen will hold him back.
Alder the Alderman. Wasn't he a Kuttenberg councillor?
He still is. The only one who retained his position after the city was taken. Only he's here, instead of cozying up with Sigismund in Kuttenberg. So his days in the council are numbered. But he'll continue to have a strong influence on the guilds and the rich burghers. And that's why we need him.
Anna of Waldstein. The widow of that rich mine owner. What was his name?
Wenzel Bartosz. And I'm not surprised you forgot.
I was quite surprised to see her here. Assemblies like this are more of a...
A male affair? So far, Godwin, so far. Anna is holding back and behaving like an exemplary young widow. But don't trust appearances. She's got claws, she knows how to do her sums, and she certainly has no love lost for Sigismund.
And what use can she be to us? Apart from her late husband's money, of course.
She's as sharp as they come when it comes to trade. And she knows a thing or two about diplomacy. There are wicked tongues that claim Bartosz acquired most of his wealth thanks to her. And that it was thanks to her that he died, too.
I'll get on it then. Wish me luck.
I wish us both luck. Before the day is over, the die will be cast.
I'd rather discuss those alliances sober.
I'll tell you, nobody has the likes of these.
Not even Botchek?
Not even Botchek. And he's a great lord.
What? I'd like to check your horses out and see if they're as good as you say.
Pah, even better. But you won't believe it until you see for yourself.
And you might not believe your eyes when you do see them. Well, well, we have a new guest.
I wanted to...
You wanted to apologize for crashing into my home without a by your leave. Or to arrest my guests some more?
I want to have a word with Alder.
Well, I'm having a word with you.
I apologize, Father.
For interrupting our conversation? Or just for being you?
Is that your...
Unfortunately. Speak up then. What are you doing here?
I came with a delegation from Sir Hanush of Lipa.
Is this a joke?
Why so strict, Martin?
20 years ago, he was nothing but a cheeky brat, only interested in wenches and booze. I got him a place at the Archbishopry to have some sense beaten into his head. Only it wasn't long before they kicked him out. And then I find out he's settled in some backwater parish in Sassau. But he took his boozing and whoring along with him, lost everything, and then came creeping home again. Huh?
Try saying it again a little louder. They might not have heard you in the outer courtyard.
You have the impertinence to show me your face after the way you disgraced our whole family?
I wouldn't set foot here if I had a choice. Better to be a priest in some backwater than have a father like you.
How dare you?
You're as shit a father as I am a son. We've got nothing to blame each other for. And now let me speak to Older.
You're dishonoring your host.
I can't dishonor someone who has no honor. If you had any, you'd be...
That's enough!
Christopher.
You won't get away with those insults. I challenge you to a duel.
We've never met, and we have no cause to be enemies. Take back your challenge, and we'll sort things out peacefully.
You've got no other option. You insulted Father's honor.
Gentlemen, surely there's no need for violence. I can have a word in private with Lord Odorin, the second, as he desires, and then...
Out of the question. This uncouth lout needs a lesson. And he's got plenty to learn from Christopher. By God's grace, I have at least one son I can be proud of.
You want satisfaction? You'll get nothing but shame. As always. Suit yourself, then. We'll fight. Come to the outer courtyard, but quietly. We don't have to put on a show for the crowd.
After you.
Well, that's that. Now, where were we?
Shouldn't we rather...
No, Christopher will sort it out, you'll see.
Make room for us. We'll just settle a very private matter. It's an honorable duel, man against man.
Forgive me, Lord, for
Stay
what
back.
I...
Not bad for a priest. Did they teach you that in the seminary? Hey, who taught you that?
Sum quick ve tribue! Stand firm! Otherwise the first
Did they
strike
teach you that
will
in the
put
seminary?
you on your arse! Look in my eyes, not at my sword! You've no chance against me!
Shut up! Who taught you that? Did they teach you that in the seminary?
You've no chance against me!
Fuck you!
Sum quick ve tribue! Left
Not
arm
bad for
lower!
a priest.
Who are you talking at?
My God. Where did you learn to wield a sword like that? Father always said you were a good-for-nothing boozer. But you could teach sword fighting in a school.
Strange. I was in a war. Right after they kicked me out of the archbishopric. And you ought to know yourself. Not all the faults that Father sees are real.
Aye. Well, I apologize for going off like that. I had to, so that...
So Father would be satisfied. I know. Only he'll never be satisfied. And the sooner you realize that, the better.
I thought he was the way he was because his first son let him down. And he hoped at least his second would become something.
Not at all. I remember him the same since I was a nipper. When I was 6 years old, I fell off a horse and broke my leg. He wouldn't talk to me for a week because I'd let him down.
The first time he took me hunting, he let me starve for 3 days until I was able to shoot my first hare.
Only 3 days. He got soft.
I always wondered who you were. There was never much talk about you at home.
Look, I really did fuck up everything I could. I brawled and boozed until they threw me out of my own parish. But now, I have a chance to put things to rights a little.
And that's why you want to talk to Alder.
Aye. The outcome of this war depends on it.
That sounds very important, considering you and Alder are both pretty small players. After your encounter with Father, it won't be easy to get to Alder. Actually, I don't think you should even attempt it. Unless you want to anger Father even more.
What else can I do, though?
I'll talk to him myself. He'll hear me out for sure. But you'll have to trust me and tell me what it's all about.
All right, then. You've heard Yob's plan, right? It's a nice idea, but we can't wait around without an army to back us up.
Only no one's going to pay for one, because that would be an outright admission of rebelling against Sigismund.
Alder's got some clout with the councillors and burghers who are loyal to Sigismund. If he agrees, they'll follow.
I expect Alder's not the only one you're after.
You got that right.
Leave Alder to me. The plan sounds sensible, and he's no fool.
I don't know how to thank you.
You can drag me to a tavern sometime. Pa doesn't need to know about it.
You're starting to sound like a brother.
Godwin, you wouldn't be avoiding me. We didn't have much time for conversation on the way here. Let's rectify that.
With pleasure, sir. As it happens, there's something I'd like to ask you. What are you expecting from today's gathering, my lord?
Well, I have no great expectations. But, all going well, we may be able to establish some joint steps towards the future. As long as we proceed without prior agreement and mutual support, we will be very unlikely to achieve any progress.
I couldn't help but notice your son has a bit of a talent for getting into trouble.
To put it mildly, but not to do him an injustice, knowing young Lord Capon, he undoubtedly contributed to that more than a little. Although, if they didn't pull each other out of trouble, God knows where they'd be now.
Wise words. Still, Henry's come a long way on a thorny path. I trust you're rightfully proud of him.
You know, I am. And Martin would also be glad, even though Henry chose a different path than he.
May God grant him eternal rest. Where did you leave Sir Divish? Surely he's not too old to miss out on such an event.
Haven't you heard? Lady Stephanie is with child. No one even imagined Divish would produce an heir at his age.
As they say, doesn't matter who kneaded the dough, as long as there's a pie in the oven.
Godwin.
Well, it could be a miracle. Praise the Lord!